Inspiring contractors to deliver exceptional craftsmanship with proven results. This is the High Performance HVAC podcast by the National Comfort Institute.
All right, what's going on, folks? Got Casey here, and we have got Mr. Mark Hunt in the house, along with the legendary Jim Davis once again. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good here.
You still there, Jim?
I'm still here.
So it's been interesting the last couple of weeks. Jim, I don't know if you've been following social media lately, but Adam and I have been throwing out a bunch of different shorts and videos, whether they're from podcasts or classes or, just here at in front of our computers. And the misconceptions when it comes to CO, where it comes from, what it can do. There's a lot of people out there that still have no idea, and they think we're crazy. And I think I remember you telling stories back in the day. People thought you were crazy, and probably still do think you're crazy.
We should tell people if they want to scam, go to Facebook and order something. That's not our position.
So you guys are going to hear it today from the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that discovered all of this stuff just through trial and error. And the only way he figured out trial and error was through testing and playing around with things and developing his own conclusions and backing it up with making fixes and seeing what happened after doing those fixes and documenting it. So Jim, you've got tons of war stories, and I think today we're going to be kind of going over different situations with CO poisonings and somebody going over there fixing it, and sometimes the repairs weren't the best, were they?
No. In multiple cases, it's caused poisonings worse than the original. And that's scary.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody's going to make an excuse like, things must have changed.
So what stories you got for us this time, man?
Okay. I'll start out with, now, all these stories pretty much occurred before MCI. Just for the record, obviously I don't get out and test privately anymore. So I'm kind of limited to what I see. But started out, it's kind of a call. This lady calls me. I have no idea how people got my name. I didn't advertise. I didn't tell anybody I was the CO guru or anything. They just knew me through word of mouth by selling analyzers. Now, I think Backrack might have gave my name out. They always claim that, well, we're not allowed to give just one name out because if you screw up, that's our fault. So you can give out 3 names and 2 are wrong when it don't count. Doesn't make sense to me, but I think under their breath they gave out my name. The lady in Indianapolis, single mom, got her first house. Her kids got lung disease. Just happened coughing, and she couldn't get no relief from the contractor in Indianapolis. Somehow she found my name. It wasn't on the internet yet. It wasn't in the phone book. Oh, it could have been in the phone book with others. In fact, maybe James Davis was in there. But she called and started to explain to me her problem. My son's got severe lung disease. Any pollutants get near him, he just goes wacko and ends up in the emergency room. Just moved to this new house. Garage is out in the garage and water heater. And, I need somebody to look and tell me if there's something wrong here because the contractor that I've been calling says everything's okay. I said, well, I said, you sound like you have a problem. I think it'd probably be a good idea if I did come. He said, what do you charge for that? I said, nothing. He said, what? So you spend enough money on your kid. You don't need to spend money on me coming inspection. I said, from Cincinnati to Indianapolis is no more than a drive to rush hour traffic.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool. She was kind of cried on the phone. I was up there the next day, and sure enough, the furnace in the garage, I could put my fingers through some of the seams. They were so bent. And then the takeoff to the furnace, you could see all the holes.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And so they got all that and leakage. And she pulls her car in the garage. So what'd you get from that? Yeah, she was in bad shape. She was lucky so far that it didn't do them worse. So I wrote everything down, told them what they had to do. Don't know whatever happened to her. I don't know why. I don't seem to hear back from people. They think I'm going to charge them a big bill now. I've never charged anybody.
That's pretty cool.
And I got accused that all the time. Are you just doing this for the money? I said, yeah. The 3 jobs I ran today, I could have made enough to buy a cup of coffee. Of course, today it'd be half a cup. There's another one. And this one's in Cleveland. Again, I did do seminars in Cleveland with the wholesaler, so there is some wind out there that realizes exists. Well, this contractor, who sat in my class up in Canton, called this lady, said, I think I got a guy that can check this out for you. So she calls, and she was valedictorian of her college class, and now she couldn't write a full sentence.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
She went to 5 lawyers. All of them dropped the case. Even out, apparently this is a large condo building. It's called the Pink Building, or it's in Rocky River, but apparently a lot of lawyers had money invested in that property. So they weren't about to defend somebody that was going to sue the property. So we tried, and it never came to a conclusion. No, she could never hire anybody to take her case.
That's something that I've met people that don't like Jim Davis because
Mhm.
they don't like what he says. But something that he just brought up there that I hadn't really thought about is that he's never charged anybody to
Yeah.
go to where they were having a problem. To go from Cincinnati to Indianapolis, I don't know how far that is, but he's saying it was just like a trip in, heavy traffic,
Oh, yeah.
rush hour traffic. But certainly you'd be hard pressed to find anybody in the field today that would be willing to go and on their own dime, just go and to go help people.
Yeah, no, it probably rarely happened. I mean, I don't even know, when I was running my departments, if we could really do that. Maybe one or, a small handful of customers that really, really needed it. Um, but some of these situations, I mean, when it's kind of life threatening like that, I mean, sometimes you just got to jump.
Yeah.
It may be harder for, single owners to do something like that, maybe, but you got a guy that does specific testing for a company, it may be worth it to go out there because
Yeah.
that recognition may be, make you a lot more money on the other side.
Yeah. Well, Jim was really good friends with a fella at Backrack, Rudy Leatherman, and I got to meet Rudy. He's passed away some years ago, but I'm sure Rudy was giving Jim's name out a lot. I had some friends that that bought a home, and they just moved in, and they just actually had a baby too, so they had a newborn. And so one day I happened to be at a local pub, and the husband was saying, they moved into this house, and Sarah and the baby hadn't been feeling good. And so I'm like, all right, well, I'll go over and I'll look. And it's a good thing I did. Uh, I had to shut the furnace down. I mean, they would have definitely, I'm sure the baby would have died. Sarah was just lethargic because they were just constant. Um, I forget what the parts per million when I came into the house was. It wasn't like 70, but it was still more than 35.
Yeah.
And it was the combustion appliance zone in the basement was depressurized because all the leakage in the return air duct. So not only were they getting the crap from the water heater, they were also getting stuff from the furnace because it wasn't venting either. So, and then my buddy's wife broke down. She just lost it. She felt like it was her fault that they were poisoning their baby. I'm like, no, this isn't your fault. But we were able to out with the old furnace and with the new furnace. And we buttoned everything up, and everybody was fine after that. But I've had, friends and some family members call me when they had issues. That particular instance of the friends, that was the worst one I ever found.
Yeah.
But I had a guy that I worked with we was like peas and carrots. We were best buds. He bought his first house. Well, he bought his only house. And I went over one day to visit, to see the new place. And we're standing in this kitchen. And, back then, you didn't stand next to me very long before the carbon monoxide issue came up. And so I asked my buddy about a carbon monoxide alarm. And he said that he had one, but he threw it away. And you know why he threw it away, because it kept going off.
Yeah, it kept going off. Yep. Let's see. Where do we leave off, Jim?
He's talking about
River?
The place in Cleveland there where the lawyers wouldn't take that case that woman had.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Fortunately, a student of mine went in and did the house. And a month or two later, I got a call. She wanted to go to her sister's house. So, again, I did this for free. I wasn't getting rich doing it. Anything but. But that wasn't my concern. I just hoped it would spread better than it did. Remember, combustion testing in reality only started in about 1978, 79.
Yeah.
And you'd be like holding a magnifying glass up to the sun and it'd be mine and say, oh, look at it, everything in the sky. You can see much, 2 times. So our testing wasn't even that accurate. It was scary. It was scary. You'll see later in one of my broadcasts, all the jobs that the experts came in and told me I was stupid. They were there specifically to tell me I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. So anyway, the guys were taken care of personally, but not health-wise. She'd suffered major decline in her health. And I'm dealing with another lady from Cleveland who is multiple chemical sensitive. She had to leave Cleveland and get away from all combustion whatsoever. She's been living on a farm in Tennessee,
Wow.
in the woods, in the back of her station wagon. There's no place she could go was pure enough for her to breathe. I still talk to her. We're still working on it. She can't find a lawyer either.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a real shame. Okay, and another job I was involved with was in Akron, Ohio. Uh, husband and wife both died. She avoided me. I got called in by the lawyer, again, pretty much to challenge that the contractor was negligent. Well, first of all, there's no laws saying they have to test. There's no laws that ranges on accuracy, so I couldn't do that. I mean, it's what are you gonna do if you don't know? You don't know where to learn. Again, the furnace in this house had been red tagged. It was a sidewall vent. There was stuff in the vent so it wouldn't run, and the vent was plugged intentionally. Well, it collapsed basically on the rest of the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after that, it was red tape. These people decided to turn it back on after that. They said,
People or contractor?
huh?
The homeowners or the contractor?
This was a
Or
home.
a different contractor? Okay.
No, they did it themselves, but there's a tag on there that said, do not bring on. But they were cold. They were cold. It was extremely, again, I was called a lawyer to find out were they negligent. What do you think? Is there any law?
One more time.
Are they negligent? Is there any
The
law?
contractor?
Are there any laws or codes that say we have to test?
No.
Not that I know of.
And is there any laws or codes? What's about the only code for CO for home?
I don't know if you'd consider that what alarm standards?
No. Legally, 400 parts per million.
Oh, so you're talking about the ANSI standard
No.
then? No?
That's not what the industry necessarily, but they don't check it because they figure that's so high they don't have to check it. That stuff's never going to make that much. Bunch of dozos. You know, again, I always got accused of finding these problems because I was looking for it. Huh. You wonder if that goes for hunting and fishing, and the only reason you catch any fish is because you were fishing. It wasn't really that. But again, here's family, totally wiped out furnace. Now, the question was, who relit the furnace?
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently one of their neighbors came in and lit it for them. However, they weren't able to say who it was because they were dead.
That's not funny.
So I technically defended the contract and indirectly put him down. He didn't break any rules. You know, he followed industry guidelines, but he didn't follow any legal guidelines. Like you can't leave stuff endangering people.
Yeah.
Now I remember I went to a inspector's national conference. It was in Columbus, Ohio. I had a booth there. And all the firemen I talked to said, oh, we don't have to worry about that stuff because we're not liable for furnace that's malfunctioning. It's up to the contractor to make sure it's safe, not us. All good there, dude. Yeah, I'll pay more for that. Yeah, the codes. And I noticed I think in the 90s, 1990, maybe the last one, they mentioned CO, but then every code book after that got rid of it. Because the inspectors didn't want it on their hands. Question is, can they be held liable?
So they got rid of their liability back in the 90s for this stuff?
Yeah. And a lot of people say, well, the code officials did this, did that. Guess how many times the code official had to go to jail?
Mm.
I'm
Never.
gonna guess 0.
Yeah. And what was I thinking there? I just went past the head here. But in Colorado, where the family went on vacation and died of CO poisoning, the inspectors approved the job even though it violates the code. One that they didn't put the blue pipe to the space heater or fireplace. It wasn't right. In fact, and the furnace wasn't right either. It was installed incorrectly. When the inspectors got called to court, they testified that they're not responsible for those things. It's not our fault. We're just inspectors. And I never had a lot of respect for them anyway. And it'll be good. And you have no clue how many inspectors I fought over the years. I made a lot of them. I made a lot of them mad. Most of them were in Ohio, but they saw me all the time. All the time. But now I'm going to Akron. I'm going to Cleveland again. I'm living in Cincinnati at the time. At school, the day after Thanksgiving vacation was over, on Monday, the school was evacuated for CO poisoning. Now, as usual, the gas company usually says, they're just making it. You're just making it. But they did call in a contractor, they had big fire tube boilers, and tuned them up. I think they used one of those little Hummer things, but not, mine goes some, harmonica. That's how they tune the furnace.
A tuning fork.
Yeah, you're just a little funny here. Somebody was saying how you tuned combustion the other day with your manometer, and you can hear the aggression in the flame. Now, I've always heard the color of the flame as a kind of a joke, but now the aggression as well. We can start tuning it in that way.
Like aggressive, like it's threatening you.
Exactly. I was like, well, how aggressive are we talking? You know?
This flame sounds like a grizzly bear.
It's contractors should keep shutting it off. It never happened to us. Never happened to us. Yes, it did. They've been sued.
Yeah.
I'd say there's probably isn't one contractor anywhere that hasn't put in a furnace or water heater that's caused intermittent poisonings. And one of the biggest signs of that is rust. If they got rust on their equipment, they got food gases coming in the house.
Mm.
Yep.
So because the school, I was doing a carbon monoxide class up in Cleveland put on by ACA, Air Conditioning Contractors of America. asked me if I would come up and do a class. They invited firemen, inspectors, everything. I mean, there were a couple hundred people in the class. And we also told the maintenance guy from the school, hey, we're doing a class. We want you to come. There's no charge. It's free. No, I don't need that. Yeah, but just in case you wouldn't hurt. Yeah, I think it's already fixed. He never did show up. Right. I said, well, will you allow us to come to your place? At least inspect it ourselves. I said, yeah, that's okay. He said, contractor's already been here and cleaned it up. Okay, that's good. So we go in, the two big boilers, I don't know, maybe not great big, but they weren't residential size. A couple hundred horsepower maybe. And we start to test them. Now, if anybody has read our protocols, even though we don't do any commercial buildings in class, we put protocols in there anyway. And the protocols say the oxygen on a commercial power burner should be between 3 and 6% oxygen. And the flue temperature should be at least 100 degrees higher than what you're making. Well, the boiler was at 13% oxygen. It just barely hit 200 degrees.
Wow.
But it wasn't making any CO. Just getting ready to fail. While I was there, I noticed there's a water heater behind the boilers. So I walked behind. It was, I don't know if it was a Brown or I don't know who it was. They had the rear, the capstan came out the side and down a little. It was one of those round ones. So I stick my probe in, and it pegged my meter. Totally went to 4,000 as fast as we could get there. Now, maybe it don't cycle that often or that long. I'm sure it does it long enough to hurt somebody. But again, the gas company said, you're messing up. Your machine ain't measuring that. You can't measure that. You can't get gas equipment to make CO that high. You must have snuck in here before we came and changed this. It was one of those. Just love those. And I'm trying. I think I talked to the contractor I was with. It was put up this meeting to get in there and fix it. Whether they did or not, I know years later when we went to the workbench guy in Cleveland, the school was shut down.
Really?
It was a hobby shop now.
Well, that's funny too, because a lot of guys still think that, that they see the reason for testing boilers, but anything else they think is pointless. There's no need for it.
Yeah, and so there's another building that hundreds of kids didn't get any further poisoning. But what would have happened if I hadn't showed up?
Yeah.
And done that class. I don't even think the people that got me there trained believed that much in the testing. Because they hadn't done that much, therefore I didn't think there was much. They had no idea. Now I'm going to Louisville. Louisville, that's in Kentucky.
Yep.
It's Louisville in Ohio. It's Louisville.
Louisville.
Lady's got kids. Wait. Oh no. Oh yeah. No, she's by herself. She's an older lady. She likes to cook and bake a lot. Well, they were pretty suspicious that her oven was making her sick. Especially seeing how it was July and the furnace wasn't running. And we tested the oven, and it was up there. There was 4, 5, 6, 700 parts per million. Of course, all that dumps in the house.
Yeah.
Now, is the CO going to get worse?
Yep.
Why?
Because the CO2 is dropping in,
Excellent.
displacing oxygen.
Yes. Very good. That's what people miss. I don't know how many people I've talked to over the years. Authorities. I think carbon dioxide is lighter than air.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. And if you look up the molecular weight, it's heavier. And CO is lighter.
Doesn't that CO get denser if you get it really cold?
Yes. Yeah, a friend up in Massachusetts took it to a chemist he knew in Rhode Island. He said above 32 degrees, CO is 0.9, 0.8, 0.89, but below freezing, it's 1.1, 1.2,
Interesting.
and that's all I needed to see there.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the first time. I never realized it residentially, but I was testing a boiler in Louisville, and it was sealed, power burner, but it wasn't leaking. It was drafting real good. Draft was going good. All the numbers initially seemed stable. Then all of a sudden they went wacky. I for life me looked over and said, wait a minute. The thing is sealed tight. It couldn't. I went up to the combustion air room. That CO, it was about 20 degrees out. That C was coming off the roof down back into that room.
Mm.
And I have found that scenario in a bunch of buildings, especially flat roof buildings. And what are your flat roof buildings? Hotels, nursing homes, schools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the fire department again showed up on that job and said, the kids are just faking it. They want to go home. None was. And again, thank God I was with a contractor that could fix it. But I figure those kids could have been dead sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people could have. Okay, so.
Well, not to mention too, even if it's lower, not immediate deadly levels, isn't that going to affect their learning and their studies and stuff like that too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You say something, Mark?
No, I was just agreeing that
Okay.
I think a lot of this learning disabilities, I would even go so far as to say I have my suspicions about like ADD and ADHD. If you were to do a study and see what kind of exposure these people were getting, low level chronic CO, whether it's at home or whether it's at school.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was a study down in Washington, D.C. years ago. Jim, I'm sure you remember this. They wanted to do air quality testing on the school buses that were taking the kids to and from school. And the CO numbers just blew their minds. And one of the biggest culprits or causes for that, and I saw it at my children's school, in the wintertime, the school buses line up in front of the school waiting for the kids to come out, and they sit nose to tail with the engines running.
Mm-hmm.
And the doors open, and the bus drivers are standing out on the sidewalk talking, and the kids are getting into these school buses that are just loaded, and getting driven home. I mean, I don't know what when I was a kid, the school bus ride was probably, I'll bet you 20 minutes. And it was longer for some of the other folks who lived further out than I did. So it's, again, one of these things that it gets overlooked. And, subsequently why they call carbon monoxide the great imitator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say I never charged to go on these calls. Well, when they got further away, I couldn't pocket the transportation without call on. So I did charge, like when I was going to Missouri or Montana or Oklahoma. Yeah, there's a charge for the gas, the plane ticket, or whatever.
Mm.
Now, next we got the lady in Louisville. No, I just did her.
Yeah.
Family in Lansing, excuse me. Family in Lansing, Virginia. Their baby died. 7 months old. The people were suspicious and considered them as being the smothering that new baby. That didn't settle real well with them. They didn't kill their baby. Well, we've had people in there and they can't find a problem. Okay, here we go again. So, again, I get called by a lawyer. How he got my name, I don't know. All I can say is thank God. The thing is, nobody will ever remember I was there, except me. That's all I care about. But we go in and we test. Well, her oven's in the kitchen, and her furnace is in the cold space under the house. So I check her oven. Sure enough, it's 1800 parts per million.
Oh, wow.
When it's hot. Oh, that's enough to knock your socks off.
Oh, yeah.
That's the lady in Louisville, right, Jim?
Yeah, lady in Louisville. And again, whenever I went on call, I didn't just check the suspected problem. I checked everything. And underneath the house is crawl space. How guys get under there and get these things installed, I have no idea. It costs them. So I low crawled under the house, drilled a hole in the draft to it. I think it never sealed too much to me. It had just some two straps. But once again, that had leaky B vent where they pushed the B vent together and it didn't seal. It was caved in places. Lots of leaks in the flue. And of course, the CO was over 1,000 and climbing, depending on what the weather was. I didn't stay in there very long.
Yeah.
No, I don't blame you.
In fact, I was lucky. If it wasn't any higher, I might not have came out of there. That's before they came out with all these little personal alarms. You can bet I had one as soon as it came out.
That's what canaries were for, Jim.
That's why I tell people, but they say they're too expensive.
Yeah. Last time I looked on PetSmart, a yellow canary was $150.
Wow.
Oh.
I do a little cartoon myself with low-level CO detectors. One was a canary. One was an actual alarm, and the other was a baby.
Oh.
I was told that's a little cruel. So it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the truth. So, again, that lady was almost incoherent. She couldn't hardly talk in a full sentence, but found out a few weeks later she was feeling better and getting back to normal. I mean, it takes a couple weeks to clear your body of it.
Yeah.
Easy.
But there still be lasting damage that will never be undone, right?
Right. Once you kill certain tissues and muscles, they don't come back.
Right.
And the first organ that gets attacked is the brain. The first, and again, you talked to Albert recently. Well, almost.
No, I've reached out to him a few times. He's like disappeared.
But you found out that even low levels, way below what we even say, have an effect, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's go back to Michigan. Ann Arbor. I forgot the baby.
Oh, geez.
I forgot the baby. Anyway, he's got a draft to appliance in a closet in the living room. The only combustion air was the louver door. We turned on the furnace. The closet was too small even for anybody. So I kind of stuck my probe in the closet and closed the door as far as I could. And sure enough, the CO started going 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. And again, take the meter. I said, well, there's your problem. You got to turn this thing off. 2 weeks later, the gas company comes in to double check it. Our lawyer watched and do it. He said, first thing you do is you open the closet door. You let the front door of the apartment open. And he only tested after 10 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
I said, that doesn't work. But I don't know if that was one of I'm thinking of one East Ohio.
So what made your test right and his wrong?
I tested continuously. I tested under real conditions with everything closed up as to be. And even in a lot of houses when we did that, we would open the basement door and the garage door to see what kind of action we got there. And you notice the one in the book with the garage door that's 8 feet?
Okay.
The whole thing had to be open to supply enough combustion air for that furnace water heater. Why? That's way, probably 50 times the amount of cubic inches we need. Because the house is stealing it. The house is stealing it.
Yeah.
Now, I could have probably proved that with toilet paper and fold it up in front of the door, but I wanted to be more professional.
Would you use a paper towel?
Yeah.
I was going to say, you call me non-professional. I use toilet paper all the time.
Well, I used paper towels that were quilted to get home on. So there we go again. This guy got CO from the furnace. And the furnace he had, oh wait, I keep going back. Okay. He had an old furnace, but it wasn't that bad. All he needed to do was close it up, which a lot of times I'll do it while I'm there. I'll just take a piece of cardboard and close it. Show them it can be done. Seeing how we don't have jurisdiction, like we would state in the country, and we can't seem to get anybody going along with this. Everybody else is just screwed.
Yeah.
So now we got the head of the USA hockey team, Northern Michigan, died of CO poisoning. In the apartment, it said his return, his closet was in the bedroom. Well, that's getting Smith coats today. And the only return was return into the bedroom at the base of the door. That was it. And what the excuse of the problem was, the guy left his laundry basket in front of the return air grill, causing the furnace to pressurize and poison him.
Wow.
Yeah. I did go to some other apartments just to check. Now, these apartments, they had fresh air pumped into them. They're actually pressurized. I thought that was kind of unique.
I don't think you see that too often.
No, not often at all. But again, the man was blamed for poisoning himself because of the laundry basket. Now I'm headed to Oklahoma.
We need some common sense laundry basket regulations now.
Yeah.
Gotta have a 7-day waiting period before you can buy a laundry basket.
And we look, and just run some of these down real quick. I got a family in Oklahoma, Owasso, Oklahoma. Got severely poisoned by their new oven. Now, the kid was the one that was poisoned the worst, and he was a teenager, but it affected him severely.
Hmm.
Well, the gas company came in and checked. Wait, excuse me. Put my finger on it. In Oklahoma. I made him bring in an appliance repairman because I wasn't licensed or anything to tamper with it. So he said the oven came set for LP instead of natural gas.
Uh-oh.
And because of that, it poisoned him. I said, okay. And I ran it that way. I picked up CO of the house right away. I said, let's see what happens if it's tuned the right way.
Uh-oh.
They'd been dead. They'd been dead. It was 4 times worse with the door, with the gas pressure right. So whoever set that gas pressure did a good thing.
Well,
Jeez.
And I think they might, I don't know this for a fact, but they might set ovens like that, appliances for LP, just in case they do get LP. Figure couldn't hurt them on natural if they used LP, but it certainly would hurt them on natural if they used LP. So,
well, I've seen in the with the wholesale distributors. I'm talking specifically about furnaces and boilers now. They want to keep their inventory to a minimum.
yeah.
So they'll stock equipment that was set for natural gas and then just assume that the contractor is going to know to convert it if they hook it up to LP. But if I had a dime for every time I got called out to go look at a job where a contractor installed a boiler that was supposed to be connected to natural gas, they hooked it up to LP, I'd have a lot of dimes.
Jeez.
Well, I mean, none of them own combustion testing equipment.
Yeah.
Right. There's that age-old misconception that gets spread through they test fire them at the factory. No, they don't. And even if they did, who lives at the factory?
Exactly. Well, that's another thing. Well, the fight and the gripe that we're getting is the manufacturer engineers know what the valve needs to be set up and how it needs to be tuned, and they tuned it perfectly before it left.
Yeah.
They know exactly how big those holes are. Now, in Oklahoma, I'm heading to Missoula, Montana. Right, guys from this mobile home furnace. Check was in there on Tuesday. checked it out, and it was horrible. It had holes in the heat exchanger. Just totally dangerous. So he goes to turn it off. He says, the homeowner says, couldn't you just leave that on just for a couple of days and have your company bring a new furnace and put it in?
Oh no.
And I said, no, let me check. Okay. We can put it, we can leave that run for a day or two. No, he was running for a day or two, but he wasn't. He was found unconscious, dead. I forget what the cost of like $4 million damages.
Wow. Do you know if they got it?
I'm sure they did. I'd like to see more criminal cases, but I guess ignorance is a blessing.
Yeah, even those two contractors that got charged with second-degree manslaughter up in
Yeah.
Washington State skated with no jail time, no nothing.
Did you ever find out how that happened? Why they let them off?
No. I don't get a lot of follow-ups. I don't know why. Maybe they think they'll have to pay me.
Well, we've talked about that before. They said they didn't glue the fittings, which, yeah, you need to glue the fittings. But, you know, Jim, like you were saying, it wasn't the glue that was the problem. There was something else going on, and they were able to find something easy to hang their hat on.
Right.
Well, in that Washington State Evergreen College, the thing that also gets me is that, you know, well, rightfully so, they charged those two contractors.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing was that the carbon monoxide alarms were going off in that dorm, and the school maintenance guys turned them off.
Really?
And they didn't get anything. The school settled with the parents for $25 million, right? You can sing happy birthday to that every year when your kid's birthday rolls around, but
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't do anything to the maintenance guys. You know, I mean, we saw that picture down there in Mesa, Arizona, where they put those water heaters, tankless water heaters in at that Holiday Inn Express. They didn't even try to vent it outside. They just,
Yeah.
I don't understand why they even bothered putting PVC pipe on top of the water heaters.
Yeah. There's a lot of people think they can invade our industry and do furnaces and water heaters, and there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
I wish I was your house. But so again, that was bad. The next mobile home furnace I saw in Dayton, I put my probe in the flue, it was black instantly.
Wow.
It's just boom. When we opened the furnace up, it was shining like it was brand new. There was no sooting whatsoever. At 4,000 parts per million. No sooting. And I've seen some pretty high CO ratings. So when people say, oh, there's no soot, it's okay. Don't think so.
Had a nice blue flame, though, I bet.
Yeah. But you can see this isn't concentrated in Cincinnati or Ohio. It's all over the freaking country.
It's all over the world.
Yeah. Well, not in Canada.
I just got a story out of Canada recently.
It had the misdiagnosis.
Yeah, right. This past winter, they had two guys that were ice fishing up in Canada, and their shanty, they had a propane heater. It killed them.
Yep.
I just looked at a furnace in Akron this past winter, I think. I was still up and around. She had gotten poisoned slightly. I don't know if she had an alarm or what, but she definitely got sick, and the gas company came in and told her she needed her furnace fixed. The maintenance department came in and serviced it, or so they said. So the lawyer asked me to come and check it out. There was still soot in the furnace. I mean, right where you could grab it and take it out. Wasn't even hidden. The CO is still 1600. They cleaned the furnace. I don't know. I think our industry needs to stand on the right side of the track here.
Yeah. For years, as a contractor going in and working on equipment, and you have people stand there. Oh yeah, we have her serviced every year. The guy comes in and does a cleaning, and I'm convinced that very often all that happened is the guy disconnected the flue from the furnace or from the chimney, so he had a place to blow the smoke from the cigarette he was smoking in your basement, and then just ran his soot vac for a couple minutes and kicked the side of the furnace so it sounds like he was working on it. I mean, there was a particular boiler by a company called Hydrotherm. I don't even think they're in business anymore, but they had this particular, it was a pancake style boiler, and they had these steel shipping bands that they would put around the block and on the flue collector on top. It's all cast iron. And when you installed it, you were supposed to cut those shipping bands off, because in order to clean it, you had to take that cast iron flue collector off. Well, all of the hydrotherm boilers that I replaced, I was never certain, but we were taking them out. I never saw one where the bands were cut, so no one ever did any maintenance on that piece of equipment ever. Oh no! Every year we had them. We paid to have them come in here and do a good cleaning.
And they told you all over their eyes.
Oh yeah.
That's again, it's somebody's got to get a little more mean, a little more challenging. I don't know how our industry can go on the way it's going on and get away with generally poisoning the customer base.
Yeah. I was talking to Andrew Smith there yesterday, and he was telling me about these ultra low NOx furnaces they're putting in out in California. And let me tell you, I would never pull. You hear the CO numbers that they're getting on these things? It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on purpose. And you're told you can't make any adjustments to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
find a way around that.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, there are contractors that are out there that they're not gonna.
Right.
They're gonna throw it in, and I followed what the manufacturer's instruction said.
Yep.
It is what it is. That's probably the most. You two guys, let me know if you get that. The most pushback that I've ever gotten in a class is from guys who they cannot deviate from the IOM. And if it doesn't say to adjust the gas pressure in the IOM, you can't touch it. You can't do anything to it. And I'm like, well, then what are you doing?
Well, and why then why is there an adjustment screw on the valve? Why don't they just come like water heaters?
Right.
So there's a reason for that.
Well, yeah, they get all. I had this one guy got his panties all in a bunch because he was telling me that if you set the gas pressure on the furnace or a boiler higher than 3.5 inches of water column, you voided the manufacturer's warranty. Now I know that that's an absolute fact. That guy's never read a manufacturer's warranty in his life.
Mm-hmm.
But then I asked him, I said, well, what if you connect it to LP? So gas valve can only operate at 3.5 inches of water column and 11? Is that what you're telling me? Because I don't see that anywhere.
Well, and how many manufacturers void the warranty because the measured static pressure is over their rating?
Yeah. Manufacturers' warranties only cover manufacturing defects.
Right.
And that's it. The manufacturer's warranty does not extend to you vented it wrong or you didn't vent it at all or anything. It had nothing to do with it. The manufacturer's warranty is, you can read it, right? It's a warranty, not a guarantee. I've had, hundreds of contractors, when I was working for the boiler company, you go out to a job, they had beautiful house, radiant heat system put in, and I could show up and I'm looking and I can tell that the heat exchanger, this particular type of boiler is they're stainless steel coils, and they're plugged solid. Well, what do they plug solid with? Calcium. Why is there calcium in here? Because they got a leak out in their radiant heating system, and they've been pumping fresh water into that boiler from day one.
Yeah.
And well, that's covered under warranty, isn't it? No, we didn't put the calcium in there, right? It's like, no, that's not a warranty issue, and it's amazing. But people read into these things. Where are you getting this void of warranty if you do this? Where do you get that?
Yeah.
And it's all made up in their head.
I think if contractors would take a look at themselves, they say, "Oh, we're not that busy." Not that you'd be busy as could be if you did your job.
Mm-hmm.
You'd never catch up.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you talk them into promoting that, but I sure would talk. I talked to enough homeowners over the years and told them that guy's price is higher because he does it right.
Yeah.
Never had them both.
You get what you pay for. More importantly, you don't get what you didn't pay for.
Yeah, but we could go on forever.
Oh yeah.
But we'll let her go there. We'll throw some of these in the later one.
Okay.
When we do the one on actual court where I called in to fix the problem, or monitor the fix and it was worse than it was to begin with. Those always make you feel good. But yeah, I think we can call that a day.
All right, Jim. All right, folks. Well, you heard it from Jim himself. Guys, thanks for being on here with us, and everyone out there, thank you for watching. We'll see you on another one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.